Hello, friends. So, when we're asleep, we're seeking constantly. It doesn't have to be enlightenment or God or spiritual liberation, it can be anything. You see? Seeking can manifest as, you know, looking for a new identity, looking for more money, looking for a lover, looking for friends, a new home, trying to get away from anywhere but here, you see? And the reason why you can't find what you're looking for is because this is the invisible appearing visible right now. Oh, fucking yeah. Yeah? And you don't need to believe that. You can't actually. You see, the one who feels separate will never believe this. And the one who hears this never forgot it. And that's resonance. When someone listens to this video, when you read words that just, or anything, even music or just hearing a poem, just that that openness, that sense of just dropping away of the clinging and the scratching and the gnawing of trying to get this. That resonance is the invisible, recognizing itself through the visible. It doesn't make sense, I know. This is a paradox. But this is the beloved speaking to itself, hearing itself, feeling itself. But it's not bound to anything. It's not bound to a video. It's not bound to a feeling. It's not bound to a thought. It's not bound to a fucking skin color, to an ideology or a concept. It's not bound by anything. And yet it can appear as deep attachment. It can appear as a deep personal conversation, meaning from the outside point of view, you can look at someone who is not a someone anymore, meaning they're not identified with the body or the mind. And from an onlooker's point of view, it's like, oh my God, that's a person. They're totally separate. They got a boyfriend. They have a baby. They're going shopping at the mall and eating a pretzel. There's totally a person there. Life humbles us through experiences, and then those experiences end, meaning the seeker ends, the one who's defining and trying to make a quality and a concept out of this freedom. You know, we can call it God, we can call it non-duality, we can call it the universe, but those are labels. They're stickers. What we're speaking about here is beyond all of that. Again, the invisible appearing visible. And that's why you can't find it in a book. That's why no amount of videos you watch either truly cut it off. Because, baby, you're it. It's just not an it. It appears as form, not bound by it. That's the radical anarchy, freedom of this message. This is not a spiritual message. This is not a religion. It's the end of all of that, you see, because the one who needs that, it's like a ring around the finger. It's a ball and chain. It keeps you married to time. And there is nothing wrong with time. There's nothing wrong with form. But when it's your ball and chain, that becomes your norm, and it's not comfortable. You see? You are a magical mystery appearing as a shape. You know, and you can walk around like that, saying that as a concept and an affirmation all day, and that won't even matter. You see, because all of that mental activity will dissolve. All of it. All of the trying to, I am God, this is it, I'm nobody, nothing's actually happening. All of the regurgitation of quotations in books and ideologies and dogmas completely dissolve, and you're left with this wonderful mystery, this magnificent miracle, if you will. It's just it's not a prize, and it's not owned by anyone. It's not an attainment. It's just this. Oh, yeah, it's ordinary, isn't it? Oh, I know. I was sold so much really high spiritual things as well. You know, and a lot of the spiritual path is regurgitated religion. There's no quality to the divine. It's qualityless, but quality can appear in it. But if you're looking for a quality, if you're looking for a certain flavor, a certain perfume, aroma. You're missing what we're trying to share here, which we really can't share. It's not breaking bread. Because again, when the one who's not connected to this identity hears this, it all collapses, it's game over. Again, none of this makes sense. How could you be it? How can this be it? How can the ordinary be what we call heaven or the divine? Yeah, well, you were sold a lot of bullshit. So was I in the story, yeah? That's all everyone's doing is running around telling stories of what they think this is. Awakening is the end of thinking you know what this is. But there is no longer a sensation or a haste to get away from this or try to change it or manipulate it. The ordinary becomes extraordinary because now the ordinary is not some sinful piece of crap human manifestation, you see? Because the human is the divine hiding behind the human eyes, you see? And sometimes even the word the divine can be a little sticky. But we use words to point to the wordless, you see? Because what is speaking right now is not just a person, and what's hearing right now is not a person either. We've just been conditioned to think we are merely minds and bodies, that we are just people. And what I'm pointing to here is there's something that animates the person. Call it energy, call it God, call it whatever you want. It doesn't care what you call it, because it doesn't have a mind. And so this message here isn't to convert you, to get you to change your experience. Really, this is just art. And whether someone listens or not, resonates or not, I really don't care. You see, because true artists express for the sake of expression, for the sake of art itself, not because someone's going to listen or resonate with it, you see? That's true art. That's true freedom. That's true creativity. And the creativity that seems to be expressed here can resonate with the creativity there. And it can seem like maybe something's falling away as you listen. Maybe it seems like something is being extracted or pulled out of your pores as you listen to this. Yeah? That invisible essence that we want to call God, that we want to call the universe, yeah? It washes away the face of personal identity. It washes away of neurosis. It washes away OCD, psychosis. Because all of that is mere expo markers on a whiteboard. That's how quickly the whole contracted energy of separation can dissolve. Just expo markers on a whiteboard, baby. And what we're pointing to here is the whiteboard itself. Doesn't care what you write on it. Doesn't care what you erase on it. It just doesn't care. It's untouchable. The invisible appearing visible. There's always so much to love within the visible. There's also things that maybe you don't love within the visible. But those actually aren't opposites, you see. The me lives in polarities and in opposites, but there actually is no opposite. But in the realm of duality and in the dream, if you believe there is an opposite, we have an opposer. Ooh. Yeah, that's where heaven and hell comes from. Sinner and saint. God and the devil. But what if that never was? What if there never was two or any form of opposites, but opposites appear within this divine neutrality, so to speak? It's just an appearance. It's just a dancing play on the stage of nothing. And by the breath of simplicity, all of the characters dissolve. And what's left is just the lights on the stage, ready for the next act that you have no control over. Because nobody's in control here. I'm not in control of these words coming out of my mouth or how any of this is arising. similar to how you are listening to this and how the body may be responding to this. No control. It's just what's happening. That's the zest of life. That's the spontaneity of life. That's the joy of life. But the dream is I'm in control. The dream is I'm going to get this. The dream is I'm going to know what she's talking about. Have fun with that. You're never going to know this conceptually or intellectually. It's completely intuitive. It's an energetic. And that's why I say resonance. And resonance can wash away the bullshit, the sleep from the I. And there's nothing wrong with this illusory I, because I is still the Roman numeral 1. So even the dream is unconditional love, dreaming, feeling separate. Not really. It's a dream. And again, it can end like, because it's not actually happening. It just seems that way. And so, when we're dreaming, we are so wound and bound by time. We're restless. We want to know what's next. What should I do now? Now what? All of that collapses. All of that dissolves, similar to when you wake up from a nightmare. It's all spontaneous movement. Like making love, like dancing, like singing, like writing poetry or painting. It's spontaneous. You don't know the next stroke of the brush, the next word that will come out of your lips. You don't know the next leap, the next turn. It's gorgeous, and that's an understatement. You're gorgeous, and that's an understatement. This is gorgeous, and that's an understatement. Because no word can bind you. No word can bind this. But if you believe you are a word, meaning form and your name tag, you will have an illusory experience of being bound and thrown around like a rag doll. But it's just a dream. I must assure you that and reassure you that. It is a dream. And when I say dream, I mean an energetic appearance that can end so quickly because time is not real. Your story isn't real. The problems you think you have that go way back in time are not real. That's the ball and chain that can end now with the samurai sword of what is. Because this is heard when it's heard. Again, I'm not trying to convert anybody. This is just a joy to speak about. It's a fucking joy to speak about. For no reason. And so with awakening, you end up right where you are. But there will no longer be a haste or a restlessness or an insecurity to figure this out. It's the innocence of a child again, or similar to an animal who has no self-consciousness but moves and grooves spontaneously. No self-judgment. All of that is gone. So of course there's no tension. Of course there's a relaxation. And this is enough. You are finally enough. The view is finally enough. It doesn't mean it won't change, but it's finally enough. There is contentment. Because contentment and joy and peace is what is left when there's no longer someone trying to create it or find it. You are what you're looking for. It's just not an object. It appears as an object. Not bound to it, though. And that's the message of being in the world and yet not of it. Having your cake and eating it too, you're just not eating the cake. So there's nothing wrong with form. Again, this is the invisible appearing visible. What for? Why? Why bother? Glory be, my friends. Namaste.